A city is the most complex human creation on Earth. It grows and develops from second to second like a living organism. Countless round-the-clock systems are required within it for the maintenance of healthy, functioning life. Yet for most of the time, the city's inhabitants are barely aware of them. At 2 a.m., the first cleaning patrols take to the streets in the megacity that is Beijing. The early morning shift marks the end of one day and the beginning of another. The ceremony is marked by a spray of water. At 3 a.m., maintenance worker Yuan Liang begins the daily inspection at a factory in one of Beijing's northwestern suburban counties. Yuan inspects the underground transport system that runs beneath the factory. At the other end of the line, his 2.3 million co-workers are waking up. They are the hens, whose labor will soon be burdening the system. Every day, the underground conveyor belt carries nearly 2 million eggs. To avoid spoilage or spillage, Yuan Liang must ensure that the belt is always working to the highest standard. Hygiene and disease prevention is another critical part of the job. The underground belt is vital to this. Beijing consumes about 20 million eggs every day. The factory Yuan works in is responsible for 10% of this. To ensure the smooth operation of the urban supply network, the factory must produce its quota of fresh eggs for an astonishing 365 days a year. But the city can't just go to work on eggs. At around 3:30 a.m., delivery vans loaded with fresh fruit and vegetables arrive at supermarkets like this one all across the city. The meat wagons won't be far behind.
19.6公斤。
有黄瓜吗
？22粒装是吧？
对。
咱们一般的呀，每天呀收水果，在2车左右。蔬菜呢，咱们基本每天都在3车左右，在车里要打冷的，保持那个低温，完了来保持新鲜度。
The supermarket receives 10 tons of fresh food every day. In 2 hours, the shelves will be fully stacked. The time is the challenge to this highly tuned logistics chain. Most vegetables are past their best 24 hours after they have been picked. These scenes are repeated at tens of thousands of supermarkets across the country. At 3:50 a.m., and Sihui subway station manager Cao Lixin arrives at her ticket hall.
好。
The first train of the day will depart from here in an hour's time. Before that, Cao and her team have a lot to check and prepare. Over the next 19 hours, the station will see 250,000 passengers pass through its gates.
没有问题，对吧？
The subway system only stops for 5 hours a day. Those 5 hours are given over maintenance work and equipment checks like SOWs.
7厅报幕室准备完毕吗？
完毕。
好的。
There are another 370 stations in Beijing, all going through the same routine to usher in the new day. Shanghai, 5 a.m. Things are stirring at the base of the tallest building in China. Li Fengming is a window cleaner. Today is a big day for him, because after 3 applications to join the squad, he will finally get to work 600 meters up in the sky.
所有的东西带点齐，不要忘记了啊！不要忘记。
On the 100th floor of the building, a maintenance window is slowly opened. It's a long way down.
冬天跟秋天交接的时候，整个上海它就是会是一层雾，然后呢，它就是太阳升起的时候那一瞬间，就是特别漂亮。那会儿就是说是工作期间免费的欣赏美景。
Artist impressions aside, it's out onto the cradle to start work. Aircrew and astronauts aside, there are less than a dozen places where people work so far from the ground. It's 6:30 a.m., and all around the city, a dawn chorus of smartphones and alarm clocks rouse the citizenry. Soon after, millions of toilets will flush in near unison. Around half of the city's 20 million population get up at this time. In the half hour that follows, more than 100,000 cubic meters of water will be coursing through pipes and then drains.
大家看到这个屏幕上显示的3:35这个数值呢，代表着这个池子有3:35的水，然后这个数值不断在变化。如果这个数值下降，那么代表着现在城市正处于供水高峰。
Beijing's average daily water consumption is 1.9 million cubic meters. This rises to 3 million cubic meters in summer. It puts the system under huge pressure, running at full capacity, 24 hours a day. So it's vital that the system has a thorough inspection before the summer peak arrives. This huge culvert in southwestern Beijing is being reopened. It has been used to meet the city's peak demand for water for the last 3 years. Engineer Yang Jingxin leads the underground inspection team. There are 2 pipes, each almost 5 meters in diameter. The water that will flow through them will supply 1/3 of the city's needs.
我们要争取在这个夏季，城市用水高峰来到之前呢，把这个管道检修完成啊，避免这个对城市的供水造成影响。
For the northern Chinese cities with deficient water resources, the huge amount of water consumption is a great challenge to face every day. Beijing's own 2 billion cubic meter water annual reserves can support 7 to 8 million people. However, the population of the city is already 3 times that number. In the early 2000s, engineers began to tackle this problem with the world's most ambitious water diversion scheme. Engineers Li Da and Wang Jingming are in charge of monitoring the water locks at the head of the project.
将这个闸门开动，由1275调整到1325。
The actions they take here will directly influence the water available in cities 1,400 kilometers away. China's unique geography shows 2 great extremes. In southern China, water is abundant, frequently too abundant, with regular damaging floods every summer. Meanwhile, North China is arid, with little rain for most of the year, and always living on the edge of drought. The big idea was to build a series of grand canals to shift the water from south to north. In December 2014, the central route of the South-North Water Transport Project went live. The 1,432-kilometer channel crosses rivers, railways, and highways, forming an artificial canal that connects the north and south. This is an unprecedented mega project all powered by gravity. There are no pumping stations. After a 2-week journey, 26 million cubic meters of fresh water reach the north every day. As the water closes in on Beijing, it has to be diverted underground. The city does not have enough ground space to build an overground canal. The underground culverts are 4.7 meters in diameter and made from steel, concrete, and high-strength steel wires to withstand the high-pressure flow. For ease of construction, each section of the pipe is limited to 5 meters, which means there are over 12,000 joints, each of which must withstand a pressure 8 times that of the natural water pressure. The main purpose of Yang Jinxin's visit is to check on the joints. After 3 years of working under pressure, are they still in good condition?
看看有没有裂缝，环一下裂缝，纵一下裂缝。
After 4 hours, the inspection team feels satisfied with the condition of the pipe joints. But Yang has found a problem on the pipe walls. The inner diameter of the culvert pipes is 4 meters. When the water is pressurized, it flows at 8 meters per second. With such rapid flow of water and complete darkness, Yang is surprised to find creatures living on the wall.
这个看着像贝壳，一般说起来这叫罩哈。这个如果长多的话，会影响咱们那个管道的输水能力。
This tenacious creature is a major headache for aquatic engineers. Though it poses no danger as things stand, its presence cannot be ignored.
来看一下啊，这是罩哈。
In a few days' time, another expert group will convene and deal with the aquatic menace. Thereafter, the giant pipes will be refilled with the torrents of water that keep the city refreshed. Three hours after opening, The Sihui subway station hits its morning rush hour peak. This is the city's crowd distribution map over a 24-hour period. The Sihui station is located at a key transport nexus where large-scale crowd flows are inevitable. At the same time, the established network is being quietly upgraded. On the track in southwest Beijing, a strange-looking locomotive hubs into view. It is called a cold slide locomotive. Engineer Wang Daomin uses it to test the track system.
冷滑是一个非常关键的节点。冷滑完了之后，咱们的正式的客车就可以进入正线进行动车调试。
This is one of lines that cold slide locomotives are frequenting most.
就是只要路能到的地方，都要给它走一遍。
Wang repeatedly examines the new track because the line has had a complete equipment upgrade. The cold slide locomotive is equipped with all kinds of complicated sensors. While running on track, it can not only detect physical barriers, but also dynamically detect operational states of all the facilities on the track system. When it's completed, it will be the most advanced automated track system in the world. The purpose of the repeated checks is to achieve guaranteed operational perfection. The exterior of the cold slide locomotive seems fairly unremarkable. Inside is where its secrets lie, with the most advanced track sensing system, the safest communication system, and the most reliable control system. All of these are integrated by a processor at the rear of the vehicle.
这就是列车控制设备，也就是这个列车的大脑。咱们所有车的位置的计算、速度的计算，包括什么时间启动，给多大的牵引力，什么时间制动，给多大的制动力，都是通过这些电子设备来计算的。
那么这台设备呢，就是专门为这个全自动驾驶车辆所配置的障碍物和脱轨检测设备。如果遇到比较大的障碍物之后，它会自动触发安全电路，使这辆车紧急制动，然后破停。
Cities in the future will need more efficient and intelligent transit systems. This smart train will be part of Beijing's future rail system. "10 a.m. sees Shanghai's demand for electricity surge. Electricity has become the lifeblood of modern society, and it is the power transmission lines which are the veins and arteries which keep it flowing. Summer is when electricity consumption is at its greatest, with air conditioning systems gobbling up every last watt. Consumption can be 10 times the average value for the rest of the year. it certainly tests the city's power support system. "800 kilometers away, in the mountains of central China, lies Shanghai's main source of power. Maintaining the lines that transmit the power is a major challenge in summer. Simple visual inspections over these distances can never be adequate on their own. Fortunately, other technologies can come to the rescue.
航管天气能见度大于3公里，空管已经放飞，
飞机状态良好，完毕。
咱们就按计划空中飞行3个小时来回行驶，大家明白了吗？
明白。
回去各位。
市长后舱准备好，准备开机。
6到9月份是迎峰度夏保电高峰期，也是客户的一个用电高峰期。在满负荷运行状态下，极易出现引流板的发热和合成卷子芯棒的发热，这些缺陷，在常规的巡视检测过程中是发现不了的。
The most common cause of breakdowns in the lines is overheating. This is invisible to the naked eye, but the infrared cameras mounted below the helicopter can show the problem areas clearly. On today's flight, the cameras have identified some insulation blocks on line number 967 are hotter than would normally be expected. Due to a blind spot from the air, a ground team will need to go in to confirm the observation. A variety of factors can cause the temperature rise, and the problem must be seen to as soon as possible. After the inspection from both air and ground, a detailed report is filed to the command center. It is now the job of the maintenance team to come and fix the problem. By 11 a.m., the window cleaner's shift on the Shanghai Tower is drawing to a close. These high-rise buildings are not just monumental landmarks, but serve the important function of allowing a concentration of people, skills, and commerce in a confined city space. The importance of good urban planning is self-evident. In Shanghai's rival megacity, Beijing, the central business district is expanding yet again. It is already one of the country's 3 core areas, which generates over 100 billion yuan of business per year. In the future, more than 1 million people will work in this limited area. It is clear that the existing traffic system won't be able to cope. So to deal with this problem, a massive subterranean traffic development has been implemented.
在我们右手边呢，实际上可以看到这个 CBD 的这个道路，实际上是分了5层。 地下1层呢是这个人行的这个快速连接，可以连接地铁通道到这个我们的核心区内部所有的地块。地下2层呢是机动车的快速通道，那么它把地下车库的这个跟城市道路的衔接都在这个地下2层组织在一起。地下3层、4层、5层是地下公共车库和人防的这个公共空间。在那边那个口就是一个车型的通道，已经做好了施工，以后每一个楼打开都是连上。
This huge underground space connects various buildings. The engineers have also set aside space for the building's utility systems so that they can link up smoothly with the municipal infrastructure.
这里是地下3层的管廊，那么这里面可以看到这个2条热力线在这个管廊里面非常安全的铺设，它避免了以前我们在城市道路下铺管线，然后会破裂造成路面塌陷。那么它的这个安全系统是由机器人的这个巡检来维护的，那么它的这个信号还可以传到这个控制中心，还有比如说电力、给排水、电信，还有很多为城市楼宇运转提供的这种管线，所以这是一个非常综合的管线系统。
In this huge underground hall, a large transformer substation will be installed, which will distribute power to the whole complex. From power, heating, water supply to telecommunications, all the city's services and support systems are integrated in this huge basement.
整个这个系统呢，实际上是隐藏在城市的这个地下空间里面，让地面还保持自然和绿化，同时也保证它的安全性。因为在地下空间的管理，实际上都是在这个非常高效的进行的。那么通过这样的一个综合的道路断面，把这个我们所有的这个楼座跟这个核心区连成一个整体，实际上它不是一个个单体，而是一个超级的建筑。
To face challenges of this highly concentrated mix of people, material, and information, the giant underground pipeline gallery is an ingenious solution. To alleviate future traffic pressures, a special subway line with just over 6 kilometers long is to be constructed. The line may be the shortest in the city, but it is not without its own special challenges.
针织路跟朝阳路这个地方的半径的话，应该说只有200米左右。对于咱们常规的地铁来说的话，那么这个半径就很难过得去。现在这条线路的这个走向呢，我们基本的想法从西北边的东大桥到东南边的九龙山或者是大郊亭换乘站。
There is no substitute for field experience when it comes to the optimization of future designs. In July, the temperature in Shanghai regularly reaches 38 degrees Celsius, even before midday. Few people are willing to go outside in such weather. This is good news for Zhou Rushuang, provided he can stand the heat.
杨帆到，周日双到，高立辉到。由于最近天气比较炎热，我们送餐过程中一定备好盐汽水，谨记生活，安全送达。好，散会。
Zhou Rushuang is a food delivery man. His electric bike and his smartphone are the tools of his trade. Business today will be 50% up on the usual. To deliver 10,000 meals will mean carrying the equivalent of 1.5 tons of rice or noodles, half a ton of oil, 3 tons of meat and vegetables. In a city the size of Shanghai, with a population of 20 million, each and every mealtime consumes 10,000 tons of food. Based on past records in megacities like Beijing and Shanghai, more than 3 million delivery orders will come in before noon. In the case of rain or high temperatures, this number will increase substantially. Zhou Rushuang uses his smartphone to select the most suitable orders. The software then recommends optimized routes so that he can deliver meals to any location in the city in the shortest possible time. Shuang's daily delivery route looks like this, and there are more than 100,000 others like him working in the city, working at the same time. After a delivery is completed and confirmed by a press of the button on his mobile, payment will be made immediately on a mobile payment platform. Over the past few years, internet developments have revolutionized the business environment for traditional industries. At 3 p.m., the automatic sorting system starts up again with a ringing of alarm bells. The warehouse comes bustling to life. The ordinary-looking industrial building in southern Beijing was once a manufacturing workshop. A year ago, a Chinese e-commerce company chose the site as a distribution center and fitted it with an advanced automatic sorting system. From the point of view of logistics, it's ideally situated to serve the city center. China today is experiencing a service boom based on the mobile internet and logistics industries. Figures from 2016 show courier deliveries of 31.28 billion packages at an average of over 85 million packages per day, and those figures will be rising steadily.
目前通州分拣中心每天的最高峰处理单量是在45万左右。我们现在这个小车的负荷量，是满载，满载。然后我们所有的员工基本都是跑动起来作业。
The sorting system is the key link that connects warehouses with buyers. Today, many goods bought online offer same-day delivery. Without the automatic sorting system, it would simply not be possible. After labeled parcels are delivered from warehouses to the sorting system, they will be allocated to designated blocks on the sorting line. As these blocks move forward, information about their destinations are automatically scanned and recorded. When a block passes by a bin, whose destination is the same as the block's designated destination, the parcel is automatically dumped into the bin.
如果说订单是在这个隔口的，它会落到这边；如果说系统预测它是这个隔口的，会落到这边，不会说到这个隔口落。就比方说快到的时候就已经往下走了，它有这个预感。
The automatic sorting system is 6 times faster than manual sorting. Every day, a tsunami of orders is constantly being generated. This company has 17 similar sorting centers to serve orders in Beijing. A city is like an organism with its own daily metabolic functions. The disposal of waste is one of these. Garbage trucks punctuate the winding mountain roads in one of Beijing's western suburbs. They are headed for the Lujiashan garbage disposal plant. The waste is first of all fermented in a 30,000-ton fermenting tank. After completion of the fermentation process, it will be sent to a boiler for incineration, and the volume will be reduced to 1/10 of the original. Its properties will also undergo a fundamental change. After receiving a harmless treatment, it will be transformed into recycled building materials. At the same time, the heat generated by the incinerator is converted into electricity and returned to the grid to serve the city. 3,000 tons of garbage are treated here every day. This produces 1.2 million kWh of electricity, enough to meet the needs of a small town. Garbage is an unavoidable problem for any city. At present, the best way to manage it is to sort it by type. Everyone needs to play their part in achieving this goal. The Beijing Olympic Forest Park is a great venue for everyday leisure. It has pleasant natural scenery, with dense forests and a large lake. Few people know where that water comes from. In northern China, water is extremely scarce. There is certainly not enough fresh flow from the rivers. If there is no fresh water coming in, the urban waterways will become polluted and dirty. So where does the lake water come from? The answer is here, Asia's largest underground water recycling plant.
大家可以看到，这是我们的磨池，整个水厂呢，经过大概第9道的工艺，就来到我们磨生物反应器磨池。大家看到这个水呢冒着气泡，其实闻不到什么味道。经过我们磨湿大概头发丝千分之一0点几缪的那个孔径的过滤以后呢，就达到我们的磨出水了。在臭氧脱色紫外消毒，如果整个水质指标达到地表4类水的标准。
This water recycling plant is not only capable of producing high-standard recycled water, but also works 3 times faster than an ordinary sewage treatment plant. Its magic weapon is this noodle-like material, which is the new type of filtration membrane. It is full of holes 20 nanometers in diameter. When used to treat sewage water, the vast majority of bacteria and viruses are filtered out. All sewage treatment plants in Beijing have been equipped with this type of membrane filter system.
大家看一下，这是我们的原污水，这相当于从市政管道里面取的原状的污水，大家看比较浑浊各种指标都比较高污染也比较严重。 你看这个水是我们的最终出水，整个色度是比较清澈的而且基本跟咱们常规自来水没有太多区别。这个水也达到了地表4类水的标准，相当于整个北京市的出水呢得到这个标准，而且呢对于整个我们排到河里的河体、河湖的生态水质，包括水污染的治理是有重大作用的。
Scientists and technicians are still working hard to achieve better filtering results. In the corner of this laboratory, a fluid experiment has been running for 10 days. Wang Xiaoshuang is head of the research team. He's looking to improve on the performance of the membrane filter.
把激光器打开，然后镜头往后调一下。
To test for higher water permeability and prolonged service life, the experiment, which simulates the sewage treatment environment, must run for more than 2 months.
因为我们模组器在污水运行当中呢，它是不断的受到这个污水中的物质的污染的，所以需要这个水流和气流去冲刷它的膜表面，来降低这个膜污染。如果我们发现它的冲刷不均匀的话，就需要去调整它的设计参数，达到这个避免膜污染的一个目的。
Today, Beijing's tap water matches the highest standards found anywhere in the world. In the evening, the city switches to leisure mode after the day's work. At 5 p.m., the Olympic Park sees preparations for a concert, which will start in a couple of hours' time. There are already restless crowds waiting.
一个军岗这边辛苦一下，把印泥车尽快支起来。好。建华这边呢，把通讯传输线路一定要确保跟后台连通，尤其跟咱们菜市口指挥中心要快速对接起来。大赵，你这边主要就是我们整个演唱会的现场设备，我们要按照应战状态去做一个完整的测试。好，那各自分头行动，辛苦各位。好。
There will be an estimated 60,000 people at the concert this evening. The demand for mobile services around the venue will be hundreds of times greater than usual. It is a test for the mobile communication network security team.
差不多这里是吧？
Before the concert, Jiang Xiongfei and his team will complete tests on signal coverage and data transmission from the stadium.
对，这质量很好，从这儿看应该是质量很好。再看看测试结果，速率正常，速率20多，问题没有问题。
速率到多少？
现在已经40多兆了。
40多兆，下载速率是吧？
对对对。
上传应该也还好吧？
上传10多兆，完全没问题。
好。
Beijing sees many large-scale gatherings in the course of a year and has done for decades. But the demands of modern media put things on a different register. With an hour to go before the concert, the area around the stadium starts to fill. The Olympic Stadium, known to locals as the Bird's Nest, was built in 2008. Its facilities were, and still are, state-of-the-art. But there has been one massive change in the intervening years: the rise of the smartphone.
我们可以看到，现在的移动的用户数已经达到几万人的这样一个级别，相当于是4平方公里范围内的用户都集中在鸟巢这样一个场馆内。那么，这个对我们的通信保障提出了一个很高的要求。
With 60,000 people due the concert, all wanting to upload photos and film clips to social media, the data traffic in this area will be 10,000 times the usual. Jiang Xiongfei estimates that data flow in this stadium within 1 hour after the start of the concert will be equivalent to data flow of the entire city 10 years ago.
那么好像大家觉得我拍一个照片上传到网络是一个很轻松很容易的事情，如果是空旷场景下1个基站就够了。但是我们在鸟巢这个范围之内，我们可能容纳了几万人同时就坐。
为此，我们在鸟巢的马道以及各层之间一共是安装了77个基站，984个天线点。
我们外围还有6个红基站来支撑大家的日常的服务，以及我们支撑的1个应急车。
目前从数据的稳定性上看，应该是没有问题的。如果说某一个站点或某一个数据的指标出现了波动，我们会及时的与现场去联系，来保障通信的这样一个畅通。
city is the stage on which we live, work, and play. As our economies develop and the quality of people's lives have improved, we little by little become more and more dependent on unseen skills and services which we almost take for granted. It is one of the luxuries of modernity, how little we need to think about the comforts provided to us. Over the course of 24 hours, in the mega city, every second sees a life pass away, just as a new one enters it. The city and its citizens combine to make a living, breathing whole, where marvels can beget miracles.